Welcome back, everybody. This is the Rolling Credits podcast. Today, I am joined by, of course, Gums and Pat. Our fearless leader, our second in command, I should say. Kirby is missing in action. So it's just going to be us today. But,
Let's get vibe out.
yeah, we're going to vibe out here. We're going to have a good time. You guys excited?
We're not that bad.
No,
Yeah,
we're still a good crew.
we're not that bad.
We're all right.
Never. And, the new Jurassic World is coming out, Jurassic World Dominion. I can't keep up. They keep changing the names here. So Jurassic World Dominion's coming out this week, and I would say last weekend. So we want to talk about dinosaurs today and talk about our favorite Jurassic Park films, favorite Steven Spielberg film, just a whole plethora of things. So it's time to get our dino on. You guys ready?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, first topic that I wanted to bring up here. Obviously, we have, two trilogies now of Jurassic Park films. Mm-hmm. Which of the Jurassic Park films is your favorite? And I'm going to start with you, Gums.
I'm going to say, this is hard, man, but I'm going to go Jurassic Park 3. And I really was leaning towards 2, and I was always like, 2 is my favorite. The opening scene on 2 where, the little person gets eaten by the little mini dinosaurs is fucking epic. And I think, logically, that Jurassic Park is the best in my opinion, as far as, I believe this could happen, this is great. But Jurassic Park 3 had the kid catching pee from the dinosaur in order to survive. It had, these parents beefing and lying. It had a weird cast. The guy stole a egg, and then they got attacked for it. They brought back the old characters, and I was just like, yo, that was a more whimsical version, more far-fetched, but boy, was it when they got in the Terradome or whatever and the birds were picking them up. I was like, yo, this is crazy. So I'm going to say 3 because it was over the top, Fast and the Furious style. We took it from real street racing to fighting in space. I'll go Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, I got to say, for kind of even the reasons you were talking about 2 though, is part of the same reasons I did really like Jurassic Park 2, is because it was more just that real nitty gritty to it made you want to feel damn, if I was in this situation, this shit would be so fucked. I would be in such a tough scenario here. And really wanted to make it you feel like you were it could happen, you could be in it, and if dinosaurs were real, if we did this whole experience, that would happen. I had a really hard time actually not picking the first one too, just because you're just so nostalgic with the OG, in and of itself. But and that's we're talking obviously a lot about the originals. That's not to make kind of talk shit on the new ones. I do like the new Jurassic Worlds. I like those movies. The way that Chris Pratt has kind of come into the fold with that character, and the way that they've kind of built that same kind of universe and that same concept. I think they're great movies. There is just, you're obviously, there's only so much you can do with building on a framework that somebody else that did really well the first time around. That it's hard to say yeah, Jurassic World, the first one was my favorite of all of the Jurassic Park films, because it's built on the pretense of what the first 3 did, right? So it's kind of where I sit on that.
It's funny you bring that up too, because it's I feel like Steven Spielberg had a whole golden era of just making the most amazing movies. Jaws, it used the same animatronics as Jurassic Park did, and look how successful those were.
Indiana Jones,
Indiana Jones. Yeah, oh, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, it's crazy. I also, so I love the first one. Don't get me wrong, because it's just it was the first of its kind, and it's just that opening scene of seeing the fucking Brachiosaurus just jumping up in the air, getting some leaves. But my favorite film is the second one. I kind of what Gums was saying. It was it was more raw and real. The scene with the velociraptors where they're all running in the field, I think is one of the coolest scenes in all the Jurassic Park films, because it's they don't see the raptor and you just see people flying, getting taken out. It's very Predator-esque.
Yeah.
And then also you get a T-Rex in the city. How sick is that? You just see, and the nostalgia of it going through the blockbuster. It's so great.
Yeah, you watch that now, it's that ages so much differently now, right? A T-Rex going through a blockbuster, you're what the fuck is this? A relic of its time.
Prime.
And you also get more dinosaurs in the second one. Like, I feel like the first
True.
one mainly was the T-Rex. Yeah. Like, we got the Pachycephalosaurus, the guy with the hard head. That shit was sick. We needed more of that.
I love when they introduce more dinosaurs and give us a little knowledge on them. Like, I love that. Where they're like, oh, that's this type of raptor, and this is that, and it can smell you from a mile. I'm like, yeah. I love when they add that National Geographic shit. I'm like, let's go. Like,
and I will say, credit to where credit's due. That's something that the new trilogy has done very well. It's just like they do give you like a lot of different dinosaurs at the fold. I think that's partially due in part where it's like, we know a whole lot more now, so there's so much more at their disposal, from animatronics to CGI to just general knowledge about dinosaurs, where they can you can throw a lot more at the wall, versus I feel like when Spielberg was making these first few films, it was like, we get the gist, we know the T-Rex is basically going to be the antagonist to the first entire film, kind of thing, and we're just going to kind of run with that from there. And so they can do a little bit, but I think just resources now allows you to do so much more with that concept.
True. And I feel like the first trilogy was more about the dinosaurs, whereas the new movie is about creating the clone of mixing dinosaurs together, creating some monstrosity. But it's also about these different nefarious organizations way more than it was in the beginning.
Sure.
Yeah, it's definitely driven by what's current. It's we can clone shit now, but should we? And then it's this is what would happen if we decided to clone dinosaurs. Because we can clone shit right now. It's proven we can clone.
True.
So I actually had that as a next a later on segment, but I feel like now is a good time to kind of bring that into the fold since you brought that up. I did read the other day that there was an article saying that we're going to be able to recreate dinosaurs in the next few years. What do you guys think about that? And do you think it's going to end poorly for us? Do you think you want to see a T-Rex in your backyard?
So, in that article, did you read, to what extent are we talking about here? Are we talking about, fully DNA matched, walking around fucking dinosaur?
That's what it said. They said they collected enough DNA from an actual mosquito, and they're able to recreate, or they'd be able to recreate dinosaurs in the near future.
I want to see it. I actually hope they do it, but I need it to be fully fucking contained, because there's just no telling what diseases or things that are in this thing's blood that could literally kill us all. I need it to live in a glass box. I need them to build it and then kill it, and then study it, because there's no fucking way do I want you to bring it outside and say, look at how cool this is, because you know what? That little fucker is going to have a disease that wipes us all out.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of why I'm in the opposite camp as you, where I'm just dude, there's just too much of book and movie and just general blatant knowledge that we have at this point that just says this is a dumb idea, and where it's this is just a fucking bad idea. In and of itself, and it would be super sick, right? It's something that'd be really cool, but I feel like it would be such a power trip once it happens for us to be look what the fuck we did, guys, haha, and then have that be the reason that we all die, and some big mass extinction because they reintroduced some fucking T-Rex flu we didn't know existed because it never fucking showed up before, we just didn't need to have. And it would just be such a fucking the humans really died by the stupidest fucking thing that they could have predicted. And I feel like that's what it would have ended up as.
Look, I just need it to be like this. Government facility on an island, so that way nobody can get infected. And then just stream it like you do baby giraffes at the zoo. Just fucking stream it live 24/7 so we can look at it, walk around. And that's all. That's it.
And then it breaks free, swims across the ocean, and eats everybody.
I ain't scared of no fucking dinosaur, bro. If the caveman can do it, isn't this an insurance commercial? It's so easy a caveman can do it. I'm taking out the strap. This dinosaur is getting laid the fuck down, and then I'm going to catch this fucking bird dinosaur flu, and then I'm coming straight to your house. Seth, this is all your fault.
I'm more going on the lines of I like the fact that Jurassic Park has a Twitch stream. That's what we're doing basically. Is that basically we're gonna stream and am I gonna give my Twitch Prime to fucking Jurassic Park, which is basically just gonna be the government? Some scientist is gonna be man, Patty Spice 55, thanks for the Prime. Welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy the emotes. So I'll be what the fuck am I donating to?
I would do it. If you're telling me they set it up stream like that and you could just see this dinosaur all day, 5 stars, Facebook Live, I don't give a shit. I'm watching what this thing's doing.
It sounds like Umbrella Corp. Sounds like Umbrella Corp, a fucking facility on the middle of the island in the middle of nowhere. That's how the zombie outbreak starts, dude.
Well, because you got to figure this. No, they always fucked up and did it on the mainland. They should always do it on an island, and they never do. That's what screws them, because zombies can't swim. But either way,
True.
Here, check this out. So I think the scariest part of this is that, like, I feel like I'm the type of person, maybe you've never thought about this, but really think about your existence in the earth and like how minuscule you are. And sometimes you'll get a headache when you start thinking too much on this and be like, what about this? You just kind of like scare yourself because you realize you're just a human. But now imagine seeing the pores on a real dinosaur. Because we only see like fake CGI. We only see like this fake shit. And if a real dinosaur was born like a dog, and you could see the pores on its skin, and you could see it twitch. I mean, dude, it's going to look nothing like we thought, and you're going to be, like, oddly amazed and oddly freaked out. You're going to be like, this
terrifying.
is not... Yeah. Oh, my God. You can see the pores and the sweat and the emotes it does, like the emotions. Oh, my God.
Well, dude, the dinosaurs in, like, Jurassic Park, most of them don't look like they did, like, it back in the day. Like, correct. A lot of it was, like, made more to make them look cooler in the films. Like, Velociraptors... Actually, in the new film, in the trailer, you see like a raptor with feathers. That's what raptors actually looked like.
Yeah.
So like, they're probably going to be absolutely terrifying. Like nobody's going to want to be like,
but most dinosaurs, most dinosaurs, they say like they can't recreate the idea that like hair and like feathers and stuff like that where they don't fossilize, right? But like it's more than likely that most dinosaurs had hair because like the world wasn't necessarily just like hot enough all the time that all of these animals could just be roaming around with fucking no fur, like just barebacking it, no shot. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, that's where they get that reptilian from, right? They're like, oh, yeah, because, like, reptiles don't have it fur, right? But the climate would have to be perfect. They'd have to adapt certain ways. And, like, okay, I've seen a Komodo dragon, but I've never seen a Komodo dragon on 2 feet, also 15 feet tall, also 2 tons. Oh, man, that would be awesome. Anyway,
so cool.
Do it, clone it, put it on an island, make sure nobody leaves, and everybody that is there gets murdered before, you know, the live stream ends, and we're good.
Pat, you're cut out there. Oh no, we lost Pat's audio.
Yeah, it must have been the government.
Yeah, right. They heard. They're like, don't talk about dinosaurs.
My voice meter cuts out from time to time. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but
no worries.
Okay. So I guess next question. Well, and I got to say my answer first too, but I also think it would end poorly. Like it would be sick. I do want to see some dinosaurs, but I feel like people are too greedy and like some like. Is gonna end up poorly for us,
bro. Real life Pokemon, bro. It might have to be a Charizard.
Gotta catch them all, baby.
Easy money.
Watch fucking everybody. We just get smited. Another asteroid just gets sent to Earth. It's like, oh, this one wasn't supposed to come for 1,000 years, but y'all created dinosaurs, so bye bye.
Goodbye.
Your point about being like so minuscule, like when you really do think about it, it is like crazy. Like
don't do it.
We're just like a floating planet in the middle of fucking space.
Yeah, bro. The more you think about that, though, honest to God, you can have a panic attack.
I did.
You not.
I literally was like super baked the other day, and I was like, wait, we're just floating in space. Like, we literally could just be, like, there's nothing else.
I did that one time. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a comedian who does a whole bit on that. That's fucking hilarious. And this whole bit about how like it doesn't make any fucking sense, and all of a sudden you guys, it's a fucking great bit. Like,
it's great,
brother. I almost had an existential crisis when I did that. I was like, oh my God, like we're just nothing on this rock in space.
Yeah, like it's
what
so weird.
What is a cosmos? Who gives a shit? Like, we'll never leave it. We'll never be there. Oh my God. I was like, I gotta stop. I was going down a rabbit hole. I was listening to like Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I was like, how does he do this without literally losing his mind? Because he's just like, yeah, this is this, and this is nothing. And we don't know what's over there, nor will we ever see it. And it's just like, you can't. And then he was talking about 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, and 4-dimensional. And he's basically saying a creature on a 2-dimensional plane, like playing the old school Mario, going left to right, cannot see the 3rd dimension. Therefore, we'd be the gods of Mario. And there's a possibility there's a 4th dimension. And those people can see us, but we can't do anything to them. We're just running along on our 3rd dimension. And I'm like, oh my effing Lord. Like
it's a whole rabbit hole.
Oh my God.
There's probably dinosaurs somewhere else in the universe. On another planet.
4th
that
dimension.
Like we can't get to. Cause that is what scares me. Like, there's for sure other life out there, but like it's like way deep space that we might never see it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So going back to the dinosaurs, enough of the alien talk. If they were successful with the DNA, like recreating dinosaurs, would you guys want a Jurassic Park theme park? And obviously cloning is going to be a huge part. Like with cloning, that opens up a whole world of like possibilities. So like what are the ramifications of that being successful? And then us obviously having a nice little zoo, a petting zoo where you can pet some Pachyscephalosaurus. I'm going to start with you, Pat.
No, it's the same answer, the same question I had before. I don't want them to clone them in the first place. So I definitely don't want them to throw them in a fucking glass display case for me to go hang out at. You know what I mean? It's like and I'm a fucking adrenaline junkie. I'm a big guy. I would love to go skydiving in my life. You know, I love action sports. I love going surfing. I'd go diving with sharks and all this crazy shit. I would love to do all that kind of shit. But like the line draws at dinosaurs. I'm good with that. Like, that's the line. Like, you know, it's mainly because we have enough records to say this is a bad fucking idea. There's no fucking reason to do this. Like, why on God's, I don't want them to be cloned in the first place. I'm definitely not going to, like, you know, Central Park in New York to, like, see the fucking Jurassic Park that replaced the zoo because they have a better T-Rex exhibit. I'm good. Like, pass.
This is the best answer ever.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, Pat's gonna be like, why would you do this? And they're just gonna look at him and go, why not? The Jurassic Park theme park, right?
And I'm just
Pat's gonna be like,
I'm gonna have like a list of DVDs, like 15 like hard copy DVDs. I'm just gonna start throwing at them like fucking Pokemon cards and just start, like ninja starring them at them. Be like, these are like literally 15 hours of reasons why you shouldn't be doing this. Like,
yeah, Pat's gonna walk up, be like John Hammond at the end. I decided not to endorse this park. Fuck y'all.
Fuck y'all.
Facts. That's crazy.
Gums, you want a dino park?
Not a fucking chance. But what I will take is a dino fighting center. So, I grew up on video games where things fought each other.
Yeah.
I think this is a good time to say, yes, dog fighting's illegal, but raptor fighting, it's all the rage. Let me go ahead and put 100K on fucking Blue Bellosaurus over here to fucking rock this guy. I don't know. That'd be pretty crude, but
man, this Twitch stream got wild.
Yeah, it did.
I don't want to park, but if you want to make T-Rexes fight for my pleasure, I'll think about it. You know.
So you basically want the video game Rampage to become real.
I mean, I don't want them to destroy buildings. It's more like
Dino versus Dino.
Smash Bros. You know, just like put them in.
Rock'em Sock'em, but with dinos.
1v1 with the dinos, bro.
Rock'em Sock'em Dinos.
You know, you can start putting the razor claws on them, equipping them with armor and shit. You know, fine. It's all good.
You get upgrades, like you win one. Yeah. You get, like it goes to your economy, kind of like a CS:GO game or some shit. Like, hey, you got 2 kills last round, so you get an extra $150 in your bank.
Yeah, exactly. There's what movies like that. There's that one driving movie that's like that with that driver named Frankenstein, and I can't recall.
Death Race.
Death Race, where you can like call in like care packages for your favorite people if you pay enough money.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. Get the enraging bomb. It'll make them crazy for 30 seconds. They'll be invincible.
I'm just thinking of like from Detective Pikachu, that like scene where like Pikachu's fighting Charizard. We're just gonna get that in real life.
Fuck yeah. Except for Charizard's gonna win every time because he outweighs him and he's faster than him and it's not a stupid
and
little
he breathes
mouse.
fire.
You have to have like weight classes for like dinosaurs and shit. Like,
this battle.
Yeah, it's like you got a little like a Velociraptor division type of thing.
Imagine being a vet for that. Just like, yeah, he broke his neck. Well, his neck is 60 feet long. All right, time for surgery.
Which part? Yeah, it's crazy because I feel like too with like. I feel like it would make so much money just being put on Twitch. Like, I feel like people would see that idea there and just, like, run with it. Like, just fighting each other.
Yeah, I'll pay money for it.
It would 100% would be a Twitch stream, and then it'd get, like, fucking DMCA'd by the government or something like that and get taken down, banned, and then have, like, an unbanning stream where they have, like, 300,000 viewers and just do fantastic. That's how that would go down.
It's going to be cryptocurrency all over again. No, we hate this. Don't do it. It's illegal. Wait a minute. Let's tax it. It's fair.
Exactly. It's going to be like the hot tub meta on Twitch where there's like a bunch of like hot tub streamers and everyone's like, no, don't do this. And then they'll ban a bunch of people. Same with gambling. And then eventually like Trainwrecks just moves to Canada and does it anyway and makes millions of dollars. Like that's all it's going to be.
Oh, the marijuana industry, you say.
Just a bunch of dinosaurs getting high in the forest now. I honestly actually kind of want like a theme park because I want to go to the dino petting zoo and pet a stegosaurus.
You fucking would. Hey,
Yeah.
do you also like walk into dark basements when you hear weird noises and cries, or is that just?
Oh no, I avoid those. I avoid those.
You avoid those.
You're like the stereotypical white person in every horror or like bad action movie that's ever existed. Like
Yeah. I've seen enough to know better, but like I'm still going into that theme park. Dude.
It's just in my nature.
Yeah. I'm a curious guy.
I have been coded to figure out what those weird noises are in the darkness.
I'm like fucking Ellie Sattler going into the basement looking for what's his face. Samuel L. Jackson, it's just his arm hanging out.
See, Pat, remember when we said that Seth would accidentally knock himself out and survive the horror movies?
Yes.
I totally believe it.
Which I think is same thing here, right? He's the one who gets like stuck in the ball and just gets pushed down the hill and like rides his way to safety without doing anything. That's exactly
End
what
of the
happens.
movie, he happens to just float back to the shore.
Yeah,
He's like-
he just like kind of rolls up on shore like, hey guys, I'm here. There's like thousands dead. Like,
what happened here?
God.
Anyway.
Yes. Yeah, going back to Jurassic Park instead of cloning dinosaurs. Why do you guys think the movie was so successful and like why it's basically a cult classic and nothing really can replace that original feel of the original trilogy? So I want to ask you guys that and kind of break that down. So we'll start with you, Gums.
Yeah, so I mean that's a really good question, and I think it's weird how all these little kids love dinosaurs when they grow up. And I really think it's because we view them as animals, right? We view them as something that actually existed. But because we don't know what they look like and because we don't actually know what happened, we envision them in a mystic-like setting or like a, I don't want to say God-like setting, but the way that we envision them is up to our imagination. And so it's something about using the fantasy of our own mind and the imagination to say, look at this huge creature that used to run around. Look at how awesome this is. And Jurassic Park isn't a horror movie. It is not a horror movie. And it doesn't really scare you in the same way. It's more awe-inspiring. Like, look at this freaking large, majestic, awesome killing creature that is unstoppable. Look how cool this is to see it in its own movie. And so I think that's why it's such a cult classic, why it hits so hard, is because we grew up knowing that these things existed, yet we have to paint our own imagery of them. And then this is what we assume them to be like. And how freaking cool is that, right? So it's just adding a little bit of that fantasy concept to something that's real. And if you notice throughout history, humans have always done that. And those things have become our deities. You know, things like Thor. Oh, thunder came down. Shit. You know, how do we explain that? Oh, well, the thunder god Thor did it, right? Oh, well, we know something existed that created that. So let's use our imagination to fill in the blanks. So I think that's kind of similar to what we've done with dinosaurs and why they appeal to us so much. If that makes sense to you guys.
yeah, no, I think that makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's like there's always kind of that like you mystify them. It's the art of the unknown that is just so like kind of crazy. So especially when you watch that movie for the first time, the first one for the first time, sure, especially when it came out too at a time that didn't necessarily have like a lot of like 3D rendering of a lot of like dinosaurs that in of itself, like that's a crazy concept of like, you know, having dinosaurs coming to life on the screen. But I actually got to say, I think it's a little bit a little bit of a different reason. I think especially at the time that which that movie came out, you know, this is before we kind of saw a lot of, as a society, maybe not, just weren't as like in tune with some of the negative things that were associated with things like zoos or like SeaWorld and stuff like that, you know, and like the things that we like kind of see with them now of them being like kind of issues with like animal issues and whatnot. So the idea of going to a zoo was a very common concept that people did very frequently. You know what I mean? Like I remember going to the San Diego Zoo as a kid or something like that. And people go up to like the, you know, New York City Zoo and all these other like things. That was like a pretty common thing for like an American family to do. So to bring in this concept of like it's a zoo, but it's dinosaurs is inherently something that is just like something you already love to do, dialed to 10, right? And you're just like, it's this ultra cool concept comboed with kind of that mystic kind of unknown idea that Gums was talking about. And now you have this just like new concept that you're like, man, this would be so sick, like to be able to kind of see. And I think the way that that's aged is a part of the reason why that some of the new ones have done so well is because of now what we view with like theme parks like SeaWorld or like zoos, where we do know some of the issues that have come from those facilities. Most of the newer movies in Jurassic Park have come with, hey, this is wrong to keep these animals in captivity like this. And that's the basis for those films. So the movies have adapted very well to kind of fit that genre of what we know about like going to see animals and animals like culture kind of thing. And that's like really kind of been a big reason why I think those movies have been so successful. It's because it's kind of aged well with its own time.
Yeah, it really has. And there's just something like nostalgic about, you know, all those films. And kind of like my idea of this is kind of what Gum said, is that like they are basically gods to us, because like there were such a big thing like so long ago, and it's like very hard to comprehend something like of that stature existed, you know? And the only way for us to really like know about them is from obviously reading and creating those ideas in our head, and then it shows up in a movie, you know, for the first time. And you know, Steven Spielberg absolutely nailed it, and everybody's mind's just absolutely blown. Like, yo, like this could have been us. Like, imagine being a human during that time period and seeing a freaking, you know, 1,000-foot T-Rex just running down the street.
Yeah, I think the best lies have a little bit of truth, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just one of those things that like you're feeding us this dinosaur theme park. There's the truth. There's theme parks and zoos. Where's the lie? There's dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You know? Whoa, here we go. Like, this is sweet, you know? And animatronics, man. This guy's the goat of animatronics. Yep. Between Jaws, yeah. E.T. And I gotta say, those animatronics are still solid to this day. So yep. I think that has a fair reasoning behind it, that he actually brought the dinosaurs to life, and they didn't look crappy and fake and just terrible. And they actually looked really good, the big budget animatronics.
I don't know about you. I actually prefer the way they looked in the like older films. Like the CGI is like dope now, but it felt more real to me like seeing them in the first Jurassic Park film versus seeing like a T-Rex now.
I think there's a healthy medium now. I think there's a lot, because there was a time there in like, and we talked about this previously on the podcast, right? Where it's like that weird time that was, I think it was between like 2008 and like 2015, where CGI was just, it was over the top and it was corny. Where it was like, it was so much CGI that you couldn't believe that it was on your screen because you knew how much CGI was going on in the movie. But they've done a good job lately in the past, like I'd say year or two, of like being able to find ways to like work in like animatronics with CGI to like kind of cut the cord and make things come to life a little bit better. And it's just because tech's gotten better, right? So I think it's something now that like, yes, especially when you compare like those like early 2010s movies and stuff like that, it to come to the animatronics of like even the 90s, you might be like, man, the 90s might have done it a little bit better, low key. But I think now, and I think what you're going to see over the next 5 years is probably that's not going to be the case. I think you're going to see some very hyper realistic stuff come up here pretty soon,
especially with the new avatars coming out.
Yes,
I was watching The Lincoln Lawyer. It's a new show. I think it's
I just finished it.
Peacock or Amazon. I don't know, Netflix. And he brings it up. He brings it up in there, and he goes, he was like, I was the first game company to like cross the void or some shit. And they're like, what's the void? And he was like, there's this weird place that happened in gaming where it went from being whatever it was to starting to become realistic. And the same thing with CGI, right? They said, but the more realistic it got, the harder we criticized it because it looked too weird. So as humans, the closer we got to it looking human, the more critical we got of it. So it takes until it gets to such a perfect point that we don't criticize it, you know, that's what everybody's aiming for, like this weird void. And he had a perfect name for it, and he described it perfectly. So whatever I said was a shit paraphrasing, and he says it really good in there. But the point is, like, we will one day get to a point where that animatronic and that CGI cross so flawlessly that, I mean, we're going to get deep faked left and right, you know? Like, it's going to be...
you already seen that coming.
I guess deep fake will be more price sensitive, where everybody can do it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for Ready Player One to become a reality, and I can just be like Batman.
Love that movie. They should drop 2 and 3 of that movie.
Yeah. The King Kong, is the T-Rex in that movie? I know King Kong is.
Yeah, he rips a T-Rex and his jaw in half in that movie.
Yeah, and King Kong too.
Which is sick. That's what I'm talking about, King Kong movie.
Yeah. That part's sick, where he's fighting the 2 dinos. So continuing on with like our favorite, like Steven Spielberg movies, because obviously, we've been talking about Jaws, we've been talking about E.T. Do you guys have a favorite Steven Spielberg movie that isn't Jurassic Park? And I'll start with you, Pat, this time.
Yeah, for me, it was Saving Private Ryan. That was the first. Yeah, it was one of the first like Steven Spielberg movies I think I ever really saw. I had a friend in like elementary school who like I think his like parents let him watch that at like such a young age, and it was he always talked about Saving Private Ryan. That eventually when I saw it, I was like, oh my fucking god, what the hell? This movie's insane. Like, and but it is just a phenomenal movie. I mean, one of the most violent entry scenes of all time, right? That is just like so absolutely like jaw-droppingly intense, but also just an overall great movie. I mean, you talk about Matt Damon and Tom Hanks really in like some really breakout roles there, and like just some really awesome acting in that movie that really is top tier.
So I actually didn't know that he did that. Like, for some reason I completely forgot about that, and I love Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic movie. That's just it's just an S tier movie. I mean, it really doesn't get much better than that. I mean, the scene. I mean, I've always loved that scene with the sniper in the freaking in the bell tower saying prayers before every shot. I mean, that's iconic in and of itself. And I mean, the way they did that, the scene where the guy's getting stabbed slowly and the guy's just kind of watching, he could have saved him. It's just like hard. It really like just depicted the spoils of war so brutally, and especially talking about a war like World War II. I mean, it's a movie I think everybody has to watch at some point in time.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Gums, what are you going with?
Yeah, so I mean, this guy has
so many,
a crazy catalog,
a laundry list.
Like, dude did Schindler's List, did Jaws. He's done the Animaniacs. Pinky and the Brain is my favorite cartoon he's ever executive produced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I guess there's a difference between directing and executive producing, but they're pretty close to the same thing. I guess I wanted to make that distinction because there's a lot that he's touched. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure everybody knew that. I think my favorite movie from him is Ready Player One. I really loved Ready Player One. And then follow up there with Minority Report that I had brought up before. I really think that this guy makes some of the best movies around, or he executive produces on some of the best movies around. And so if anybody goes and pulls up his IMDb, please take a look at the things that he's executive produced. I mean, we're talking Transformers, Men in Black, like, he's touching everything. By the way, I found out by doing research that Gremlins 3 is coming out. Real Steel 2 is coming out. I wanted people to know this because these are great. Indiana Jones 5, it's already in post-production. Transformers Rise of the Beast, like, what? Didn't know that. Anyways, those are my favorite movies from him. Watch out. Steven Spielberg is still making movies and film, and they're going to crush it in the next 5 years.
Dude, he executive produced Who Framed Roger Rabbit too. I fucking love that movie.
That's what I'm saying. He touches everything.
Cape Fear.
I didn't know. I didn't know that he did Ready Player One. I also haven't seen Ready Player One.
It's fantastic.
It's so good.
But yeah,
So
I mean,
good.
hell, West Side Story, Lincoln, War Horse,
Yep.
Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, fucking Close Encounters,
Yep.
you know, Duel, like all these E.T., you know, all the Color Purple, like all the Schindler's List, like all these things. You're like, dude, this guy had 4 of these movies from this entire list. He'd be going down as like a goated actor, as a goated
Yeah.
director, and this
Yeah,
guy
dude.
has like a literal laundry list of movies that are like just absolute iconic films, like S+
Yeah.
tier movies.
Band of
Catch Me If You
Brothers.
Can is on there. Fucking
Band
Catch
of
Me If You
Brothers,
Can is a
man.
fantastic fucking movie.
That is a
Hook.
great movie. That's the one with Leo, right?
Yeah, Leo, where
And
he's
he's like con
laundering
artist?
money. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That
so
movie
good,
is
dude.
so good. I
man.
think for me, my favorite Steven Spielberg film is E.T. I don't know. I just grew
Great
up
flick.
loving that movie, and it's just like it just has such a great story. The way like it's basically like what Stranger Things is to us now is what those types of movies like Goonies and that was.
I mean,
And-
it definitely E.T. Stranger Things now is definitely inspired by E.T. in almost every way, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Which,
Love it.
speaking of the Goonies, Steven Spielberg also helped write the story for that. So, like, it's nuts. This guy's catalog. It's hard to pick one.
But yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. He even executive produced Band of Brothers, which was one of the best TV miniseries about
It was
war.
great.
It's fucking awesome. It was like Saving Private Ryan, but 10 episodes of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy,
Yeah.
bro. Shit was slapping. My grandpa was watching that all the day, man. He rented it from like Hollywood Video or Blockbuster, and he probably watched that thing like 7 times. Every time I was there, he's watching it. And he's like a Green Beret, so if he liked those movies, he would just watch them all the time. I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, he
Sweet.
executive produced Shrek,
Oh, I didn't know
Might
that.
have been
actually.
uncredited for that, though.
Twister, and there was another one on here that I saw that was just like, The Land Before Time.
Twister.
Land Before
Yeah.
Time. Hell yeah.
So he's got his hands in some crazy cool cartoons, some crazy cool miniseries. Like this guy. What I guess if they wanted it to hit, they put Steven Spielberg on it and said, "Hey,
That's
Steven,
true.
what do you
Yeah.
think?"
Yeah.
And he's like, because executive producing is basically like, I'm going to consult with you and tell you if it sucks or not.
much, yeah.
You know, like I'm not directing technically, but like I'll tell you right off the bat if it sucks. So he was like, "Yo, this is where you should go with this," and it works
Oh,
every
yeah.
time.
It's yes. Dude, maybe just get Steven Spielberg to do a Marvel film. See where that goes.
That'd be awesome.
So obviously, since we talked about Steven Spielberg, going back to Jurassic Park a little bit here, do you guys have a favorite character from the Jurassic Park franchise? And who do you think you would be if you were thrown into one of those movies? Like, what character would you portray? And I'm gonna start with you, Gomes. I want to know.
My favorite character from dude, I wasn't ready for this one.
Yeah.
My
There's a
favorite
lot.
character from the Jurassic Park franchise is gonna be. I don't like. Who's the guy that does the Renters commercial all the time? The famous dude.
Jeff Goldblum's character.
I do not like Jeff Goldblum as a person. No offense to Jeff Goldblum. I just look at Jeff Goldblum and I'm like, we wouldn't get along. And I say that out loud now, hoping that Jeff Goldblum hears this and jumps on the podcast. But it's just something about him. He's like too Shakespearean for me. He's like just all over the fucking place, and I can't read it, and I don't know if it's fake or not, and it just doesn't feel good and original. Like, it doesn't feel authentic, and I don't trust things that don't feel authentic. So I don't like him. His character was okay. His character actually made the most sense, because he was like, what the fuck are we doing? Let's get out of here. But my favorite character was the little boy catching the piss in the bottle, because he was really the GOAT. He was the only one out there fighting. He wanted his parents to get back together. He was taking on dinosaurs with fins and shit. Like, this kid was really about that life. He was going to survive at all costs. That is my favorite character, and I'm sticking to it.
Kid really was about that action for sure. 100%.
He was.
That's fair. That's very fair. But I gotta disagree with you tenfold on Jeff Goldblum. That was my
Yeah.
favorite character in the movie.
I'm sure.
Because to your point, he was the only guy that made sense. He's like, "What the fuck
Yeah.
are we doing here? Like, this sucks. This literally sucks. Everything about this is terrible." And I did really like that. And I feel like if I'm the guy going to the movie, I'm the guy showing up saying, "Hey, this sucks." Get me the fuck off this island. Like, I want nothing to do with this. Get me the fuck out of here. I feel like I'd be somewhere in the middle between those two, between your character Gums and this character, where I'd be like, I will do whatever it fucking takes to get me away from this place. That's all I care about. Like,
shout out to Laura Dern, by the way, because you age flawlessly, girl. Love you.
Yeah, she does. She doesn't age, bro. She's great. She's like Paul Rudd.
Dude, Paul Rudd's a fucking mutant. I swear to God, Paul Rudd doesn't age.
No.
Dude's like 60, still being Ant-Man and shit. Like, this
doesn't make any sense. Hopefully we look that good when we're that old, guys. My favorite character is actually an oddball one, but I'm going with Vince Vaughn's character, Nick Van Owen from The Lost World.
oh.
Dude, you don't remember Vince Vaughn in that?
Yeah, it took me a second. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
this is the original one, right?
Yeah.
And he's like the cameraman or some shit?
Yeah, he's the cameraman, just bringing all the snacks, trying to like freaking save his girl.
Too funny.
Yeah.
Because I totally forgot that Vince Vaughn was in this movie until you just said that.
It took me a second on this one for sure.
That was like when I started realizing, yeah.
Oh.
He was young in that too, but he was great. He provided the comedic relief. Which, like, I feel like I would crack a crap ton of jokes too if I was seeing fucking dinosaurs and just eating people. Like,
was he confirmed to die?
I think he lived. He didn't die in it.
So why don't they bring him back? Because that'd be dope.
That would be
cool.
be
great. That'd be great.
I'd love that, dude.
They there's actually a photo of the red carpet yesterday where the girl from the first movie was there. And dude, she looks so much older, but she literally, like, her facial features, she looks exactly the same as she did in the first movie.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, it's crazy. Dude, that, like, whole franchise has had so many amazing cast members and actors come through for it. Like, I'm just looking at the list. Like, even, like, I will say the worst character, though, I'm actually going to bring this up, is Bryce Dallas Howard. Because,
really?
That's her, right? Bryce Dallas Howard's in it?
Yeah, in the new ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, bro, she was running in high heels away from a fucking T-Rex. Like, no shot she's surviving that.
That is just bad
writing,
producing. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way you should never have women running in heels in the movies. Like, that shit is so stupid. But it's a trope. I watched some Netflix thing on it. It's literally a trope. They do it on purpose. Yeah. It's just part of the, like, a inside joke type thing. Doesn't make it any better, but
no. Yeah. What are you looking up over there, Gums?
Oh, nothing. I'm just scrolling through. I was trying to find the girl.
The photo that they posted?
I was just trying to find the girl from the original Jurassic Park. But I ran into Kelly Curtis, the girl that did the gymnastics.
Oh, yeah.
She was fucking up that raptor doing the gymnastics. Like, flip, flip. I forgot she was even in here, bro. This stuff is crazy, bro.
Bro, just thinking of the gymnastics scene.
Yeah, just flip.
What if you get, like, an MMA guy? He's like, come at me, just on the ground trying to fucking put a headlock on a
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu's the dinosaur, bro? That would be sick.
I'm so down to have, like, a cameo from, like, Israel Adesanya fucking just like leg checking a raptor. Like,
that would be dope as shit.
Just knee kick.
Literally knee kicks the raptor and the raptor just eats it.
Like Nate Diaz, like, trying to, like, square up with a fucking raptor and just, like, clocks him, that type of shit, and, like, goes, like, armbar him or some stuff.
It's like fighting kangaroos, fam.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor's getting eaten.
Yeah, Khabib Nurmagomedov, like, throws him in a fucking rear naked and is just, like, full trying to choke people out.
I'd actually love to see this. I need to see this.
That's the fighting we want, Gums. What are you talking about? Dinosaur versus dinosaur. We're going to have an MMA match.
I now want to see, like, they had a movie, I forget what the movie's called, but it's kind of like, what's the girl that throws up the three fingers and they put them, fight them?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like a Japanese version of the Hunger Games, and that's where they got it from. But it's like they put all these kids on an island, and they all kill each other for the sport and try to survive. I need to see that version, but with dinosaurs on it now. And I need these, like, MMA fighters and other people from different backgrounds to be on there, like fucking engineers that create traps and devices to survive the dinosaurs. Like, I now need to see this on an island in a movie about surviving these dinosaurs on an island.
This literally sounds like Predators.
Yeah. Sounds like Jurassic Park, huh?
Yeah.
You're on an island with dinosaurs.
Sounds like we're making a pretty crazy Twitch stream over here. That's all I want to know.
I'm just saying, you drop the guns in, you say, okay, here's your map. Here's where we put all the gun stashes in the food. Best of luck. There's 45 raptors, 3 T-Rexes, 5 iguanodons. Like, good luck. Like, survive if you can.
The iguanodon sounds like the boss. Like, you have to go talk to him to get something. You'll come to me. This is the day of my daughter's wedding.
It's a big ass iguana.
Fucking Bowser. How can I help you, sir?
It's Bowser smoking a cigar.
That would be amazing. I hope Hollywood listens to this podcast and makes this battle royale with dinosaurs.
They really need it. Battle Royale. I think that was the name of the movie, by the way. It was Battle Royale. Yeah. So there we go. That's what you need.
What? And everybody answered that one, right?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, so what is your guys' favorite non-Jurassic Park dinosaur film?
I don't know.
And I'll start with you this time, Pat.
It's honestly at its core, it's a shitty movie. It's at its core, it's a bad movie. But Land of the Lost,
fantastic,
with Will Ferrell. I mean, it's just so goddamn corny. But I love the movie in every way, in all of its facets that it is. But I mean, I'll be frank with you. It's not a good movie, because it's not something that's winning any awards. It's not doing anything crazy. But fuck, it's just funny. It's Will Ferrell and fucking what's his name? It's not John C. Reilly. It's the fuck.
Will
is
Ferrell's in it.
Yeah, it's Will Ferrell. What's the other guy's name?
Michael Cera, is he?
Danny McBride, brother.
Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Danny McBride. Michael Cera, no. But
that was year one.
It was year one. That was year one with Jack Black, Michael Cera and Jack Black. Yeah, But yeah, I don't know. It's sort of when they go into the big like crystal and it vibrates and they're singing Cher in the middle of the thing. I just die. I die every time. But yeah, that's mine.
I feel like Velocipaster would be all of ours if we all sat down and watched that finally.
Yeah. Or no, you gotta watch Tammy and the T-Rex, bro.
Oh, that's a great film. Is that what's your pick, Gums? Is that
I don't know. I guess is Godzilla technically a dinosaur?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, not really.
Well, I mean, in the
let's just say
Emmerich
no.
version, he is.
Let's just say no for the sake of like this podcast.
Okay.
That way I have to pick something else. I think it's a great question, dude. And I want to say that if you don't say like Land Before Time, you can't be like from the 90s,
Land Before Time's goat,
but
for sure.
I'm going to tell you right now, the most goat of goat dinosaur movies in the entire world, bro. And I'm going to say the top 3 because nobody knows about these unless they're of my age. 1, Prehysteria, 1993. I'm going to say no more. I want everybody to go Google it and watch it. If you ever seen Indian in the Cupboard or something similar, Prehysteria is basically a movie about little miniature dinosaurs that this kid has.
Bro.
That's all I'm going to say. Small soldiers with dinosaurs. Okay, so that is going to be my number 1 movie. The second one is going to be called We're Back. It's an animated movie also from 1993. And then the final one, the third one, is going to be, I think it's called Dinosaur. It's a Disney flick from 2000.
So Prehysteria.
Shit, I have seen this.
Yeah,
it's in your head, bro.
Yes,
Oh
I've been trying to find the
God.
name of this movie fucking years. I forgot this movie existed. It was one of my favorites growing up. And bro, thank you.
You called me out for a deep cut on Saving Private Ryan, and you bring this shit out? What the?
You asked what the best dinosaur movie was. I came through.
This was
a cut. I didn't even know I had this memory in my head. What the
I came
hell?
through with it.
He fucking had like the T-Rex and the dude. That is, thank you, Gums. I want to go rewatch this now. I forgot that this movie existed, and I know like it was amazing.
What?
Don't worry about it, guys. If you buy the movie, Seth, I will show up to your house to watch that.
I will fucking buy it because this movie was fantastic.
And honest to God, is the best movie out there, and it's super fucking sad too. Like
it is really sad. 'Cause it deals with so many different things, if I remember correctly. Like, isn't his like parents like kind of going through something, and then he has like the dinosaurs, and they try to take the dinosaurs away?
Of course, it's a 1990s movie.
Yeah, it's like yeah,
And the dinosaurs
Of
are
course
his
that. It's
friends.
an 80s movie.
true. Dude, thank you, Gums. Okay, I was gonna say Land Before Time because it's just an all-time classic, but like that movie, Prehysteria, for sure. That.
I'm glad that we can all be friends
Pat
again.
are just gonna go home and watch that now.
I actually
Or,
literally, that's like actually blowing my mind right now. I like looked it up. I was like, I know what this movie is.
Yeah.
You said it. I was like, I don't know that fucking movie. I was born in '94, and then when you said that, I was like, oh my
And
god.
then you're like, oh god, this is something in the deep back of my mind.
This is in like back corner of my memory. Like,
And I guarantee if you also watch the movie called We're Back, it is like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like weird dinosaur.
oh, I have seen that too.
Land Before Time. It's almost like they made
Yeah.
fun of Land Before Time. And then they made a movie about it, and it's sick. I mean, it ain't no Page Master, but it's like something similar to like that. Sick.
Do you guys remember that dinosaur TV show?
Yeah.
Mama,
the real animatronic
Papa.
one?
Yeah, that shit
Yes.
was so funny.
So good.
Man, they need to start making more dinosaur stuff. Honestly, I feel like there's.
I'm super
ahead.
glad that I could put you guys back to where you needed
Yeah.
to be.
I need to go watch that again. So obviously, this whole podcast has been about dinosaurs, but I gotta ask the real question of the day here: what is your guys' favorite dinosaur
Ever?
ever? And I'm going with
Jesus
you,
Christ.
Gums, first.
I don't know, man.
You gotta pick one, baby. Gotta pick one.
My favorite dinosaur ever? I don't know. Let me Google it, dude. What's the
What
biggest
about
one
you,
out
Pat?
there?
What you got? While he's Googling.
I really liked in the first Jurassic World movie the dinosaur that was in the big water tank that comes up and eats the shark that they hang down.
Yeah, the Mosasaurus.
I had to look it up. It's called the Mosasaurus or whatever. I didn't realize what it was, but that thing's fucking sick. I think it's just
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, I had to pick a
All right.
water. I had to pick a water one. It was gonna happen.
I
It was
won't
gonna
cheat.
happen.
I won't cheat. My favorite dinosaur growing up was probably the Ankylosaurus.
Which one's that
Cause
one?
the one with the fucking
club?
2-ton ball on his fucking tail, and
Yeah.
he swung it, and he has armor plates. Like the fucker's a tank.
Yeah.
I thought that was super cool. Like as a dinosaur, like that's as close as you get to like a Pokemon, bro. Like go fight.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
True. Absolutely
I-
true.
I always loved the Stegosaurus. Like, that shit was dope. But my pick is the fucking Megalodon. Because it existed around the same time. And the fact that you have a 60-foot
Great call.
shark just swim in the oceans that could eat us in one bite is absolutely terrifying.
Fun fact. I actually named my nephew. His nephew's Corday Ladon Henderson, and he got his middle name Ladon from Megalodon because that's what I told him she should name it.
That's amazing, actually.
So he's actually named after the Megalodon.
After a
And his middle
Megalodon?
name is his middle name is Ladon because of that.
Let down.
So
How old
That's
is this
actually
kid now?
amazing.
from the seats.
How old is
He's
this kid
15.
now?
He's like 15 now, and he's like 6'2", 6'3".
Have you told him that his middle name is based off the Megalodon?
He knows that I named him. He just doesn't. He just doesn't know that that's where it came
Oh,
from.
you have to tell him. That's
Yeah,
fucking,
yeah,
for sure.
I'll
That's
tell him.
incredible. That's
Isn't
incredible.
that fun?
You see something to say? It's you're gonna get one of two reactions: just what the fuck, or that's incredible. There's no middle ground in the reaction.
I'm pretty sure
Yo.
everybody's gonna be like, "That's incredible."
You know what you need to do? You need to have him come over for a movie night, put on the Meg, and be like, yo, this shark right here, that's what I named you after.
Exactly.
Low key, I'll do it.
I
I
named
swear
you
to
after
God.
the main character of this movie.
They're making a sequel to that shit.
Why? Why?
And like I said before, Pat, they're gonna come up to you and say, "Why not?"
Why not?
Fucking why?
By the way, come to our Jurassic Park.
By the way, check out our Twitch stream.
They would so
fucking
sell me on a
Christ.
Twitch stream. They would
Oh,
so
I'd be a fucking tier 3
Yeah.
sub. I'd be doing it every month.
Honestly,
Sending
if
bits for TTS and shit. I'd be doing it all month. I'm
I'm gonna say if they didn't include Jason Statham driving an Audi on the Megalodon this movie, I'm gonna be very disappointed. That was a missed opportunity right there. Transporter into the Megalodon.
Oh fuck. Just so unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary.
So unnecessary.
I don't know. Feels necessary to me.
I guess I can't really bitch. They keep making fucking Sharknado movies, and those are fucking hilarious. So I guess, it is what it is. Maybe I'm
You
just
know,
wrong.
low key, I need a movie like Tremors because I thought Tremors, for as corny as it was a great film.
The first
If we can just get little
the first
ones like that.
Tremors, the first Tremors for how corny it is fucking incredible. Like,
Thank you.
That is a movie with CGI that I think would do really well today. And it's funny that you guys bring that up because I saw the other day that they're doing a remake of Arachnophobia.
Nice.
So, like, if
I
we're
will
starting
not
to
be
get
seeing that. I'm terrified of
That is
terrifying.
a Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg executive produced movie, by the way.
Yeah. So, like, if we're getting that type of movie, like, it opens up the door for us to get movies like, I literally just forgot the name, but we were just talking about Tremors and other things. So.
Not Stranger Things, but other things.
Other Da-na-na-na. And on that note, I hope you all enjoyed the Dino Talk today. As always, Gums, send us off, sir.
As a fine dinosaur once said, he's over there, let's eat his ass. Let's keep it rolling.
What was that? Oh my god.
That was fucking gold, bro.